start. Okay, that's down. Okay, so let's see. Now, hold on. Okay, excellent connection. What's that there? Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay, now hold on 1 second. How can I do this?
I chose the wrong headphones.
What?
Your audio is extremely loud.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it's hurting my ears.
Oh, hold on. Let me. I know. Hold on. Let me turn that down. Okay. Is that better?
Say it again.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. You know how when you talking, at least that splat at the end of what you're saying?
Yeah. Testing.
It's kind of like that a little bit. Like the mic audio is up high. That's what it sounds like.
Because I'm using it.
And it might just be me though. It might just be me, Sherry. So
let me see something.
I'll just have to take one side of the headphones out of my ear. So.
Okay, I'm gonna try something a little bit different.
No, it's probably just the headphones that I have on. You're probably fine.
Well, we'll end up seeing anyway. Okay, so hold on 1 second. Okay. To the Twitter.
Hello?
Yeah.
Well, I just turned mine down. My speakers down. That's what I say. It might just be because of the headphones that I have on. So I still can hear you. So.
Okay.
It might have just been because I have on a different pair of headphones. So.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Got to do one more thing. Where is it? So, hi, and thank you for joining us. This is Sherry Andrea, joined by KJ the Mystic, aka Kier.
What up? What up? What up?
You guys can join us. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is, first of all, can everyone hear us? And just put in okay. You can just type in an okay if you can hear us. Okay. Can everyone hear? Okay. So we got a couple of okays. Okay, so we got a couple okays. Jeanette and Denise said okay, so I'm assuming everybody else can hear too. Okay, now let me remind you, you can use the call-in number if you either want to call in on the phone to ask your question, or if you want to call in the phone to listen. Like if you have to leave your house, you're like, oh darn, I gotta go somewhere. You can also use the call-in number so that you can keep listening. Okay, so the other thing is, okay, for the mini reading, just keep in mind one question. Last night was more of, we were testing everything out, so we kind of let everyone do whatever they want, ask whatever they want. We didn't really restrict anyone. Okay, so here's the rules. It's one question. We're not doing any general readings. If you need a general reading, then you need to either schedule a reading with me or here. The information is in the description box, and we will be putting it in the chat too. So keep in mind, one question. And because we had so many people, we actually had people last night that we didn't get to. We do need to keep it to a few minutes each. If towards the end, of course, we have an extra time and there's not a lot of people waiting to get their question answered, then of course we'll spend maybe a few more minutes. But just keep that in mind. Along the way, depending on, this is based on how many people are asking a question or calling in between things, we're going to be chatting about various subjects. And of course, feel free in the chat to contribute to the conversation or to ask a question about what we're talking about, or to even bring something up. Also, we appreciate your donations. It keeps us going. I have in the description, I have put, our contact information, Kier's Facebook, my website, all the pertinent links. So if you're looking to find us after the fact, that's where you need to go. Just go to the description and you'll see it. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I hope everybody had a good day. It looks like Jeanette was really ready to get going. Let me see.
Okay, I see.
Her question was, who is the spirit that talked to me when I was a child? I talked to him again when I turned 21. Who is he? Definitely a guide. That's the one thing. And definitely I'm getting that it's a guide. I'm not
no medium, so I can't.
Well, no, it's not really a mediumship question exactly. This isn't you know what I mean? It's not a mediumship. This is your, he's a guide, but he is not, how can I say this? You know how sometimes people wonder if a guide that they had with like a loved one that's passed on or something like that. Okay, so my higher self is telling me no, she does not have that connection to you. This guide was assigned to you or ended up being your guide for a reason. It actually has to do with, I guess the clearest way I could say it, your path and purpose in this lifetime. I am also getting that this is one of your main guides, meaning a guide that's going to be with you your whole life, because not all guides stay with you your whole life. But this is a guide that is going to be with you your whole life. He had an American accent. Okay, that didn't actually mean anything. The reason why is, now think about it, Jeanette. Just follow me with what I'm saying. On the other side, do you think that there's different languages? Do you think there's like bad words? You know, things like that. Those are things of man. Those are things of humans. Those are things that are earthly things. On the other side, it's not like the same rules. It's not. So on the other side, it is not language that is spoken like here. Everything is about vibration. And when your guides are talking to you, they come across in a way, the best way they think that you will be accepting of. What you might be expecting, what you might be used to. Okay, so I channel my higher self, and I've also channeled, other entities. Okay, so the way it works is that it has to do with your abilities. When you say they speak with small words and slang, that's more about you and your abilities than about them. They actually have the abilities to do everything and anything. It's your abilities and how they work and how it's going to manifest to you. So that's what's controlling it, is your own ability. So keep that in mind. Don't get hung up on that, though, because the best way to expand the ability to be able to hear them and communicate with them is to do it, is to actually, when they're communicating with you, notice it, acknowledge it, but do not get hung up on the things like that. Don't get hung up on, I would say more, and I'm not saying this because of me, don't get hung up on more superficial things because they're spirits. They don't have the same restrictions we have. They don't have the same issues we have. Like, for example, my higher self has no problem communicating with me. Archangel Michael has no problem communicating with me. The only problems that ever exist are on my end, and my ability to perceive it, my ability to pick it up, my ability to translate it is about how my abilities work. So don't get hung up on the little things, because they'll actually kind of hold you back from developing it more. So you just have to, I almost want to say, this is about go with the flow.
1 minute remaining. Sherry, 1 minute.
Go with the flow. And here's the thing. Don't think in terms of, sorry, I still had that on. Don't think in terms of limitation. Whatever you're able to do is based on whatever you believe you're able to do. So if you believe you got no issue communicating with spirit, you will find it easy. You will be able to find it easier and easier and easier if that's what you believe. So it's kind of clear everything out of the way and go for it. That's what you need to do. But yeah, he's gonna help you. He's gonna help you advance. Just focus on being able to talk to him more to hear what he has to say to you.
All right.
Okay.
So
Is there? Let me see.
I see Denise ask. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Ellen and I are living in or move to a new house would be better. Oh. Okay, well, first of all, my higher self is telling me the vibrations in the house you're in are fine. I'm not getting that there's any huge issue with the vibrations, the energy there. But my higher self is telling me there's something about money. I don't know what that is. It's something about money that you. Money, I hear the word affordability, and keep in mind that doesn't mean you can't afford where you're living at. Sometimes that just means that for plans that you have, goals that you have, they may be easier to achieve if you have more available money. I'm getting, my higher self is though reminding me now is not the my higher self's like, doesn't really matter. Now is not the time anyway. Now is not the time to do that. This is something that needs to be revisited in maybe a year, is what I'm getting. Revisit this in a year, because right now it's just not a good time to try to do this. And now if you desperately need to do it, my higher self is telling me that you'll be successful if you desperately need to do it, but that it wouldn't exactly be easy. But when I say not easy, I'm like talking about the person who maybe has to take a longer amount of time to find, to not just sell their house and get what they need to get for it, but also find the new house to be able to get the house they want and at the price they want. So my higher self telling me, yeah, technically it's doable, but yeah, it takes extra time.
Well, Denise, one thing I'm getting about this house, and I could be wrong, but I agree with Sherry. I feel like where you're at right now is actually good. I'm getting from my guy that pretty much saying that you kind of need to get, kind of fill the house out that you guys are in right now, because I don't know if you guys have been there long enough, but I feel like it's just I'm getting good vibes from the house that you're in right now. Like I don't even see any issues with that. But they definitely saying that you gotta kind of feel the house out a little bit longer to, I guess, to see how if you guys would actually like it there where you're at in the long run, in the long term. Because I don't think anything is wrong with this house that you're in right now. So that's all I was getting.
Yeah, I'm just kind of getting it's like, don't be too quick to jump out of this one.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like, okay, solve some of the issues, like financial issues. Like sometimes they are solvable. Sometimes it means making that hard decision to be like, yeah, the job I'm at, it doesn't pay me enough. I need to
she
find
says it's her childhood home.
Yeah, and I know,
okay.
I know there's connections there, but see, that's that's you. That's a perspective. That's like, it's like saying, do you want me to answer the question based on you having like ties and connections to this home, or do you want me to answer the question like, I don't see those? the truth is that we know that in order to live a good life, one of the best ways to do that is to not have any connections, to not have anything we're attached to not have strong attachments, because a strong attachment can cause problems, because if anything ever happens to the place and the things you have attachments to, it can cause dissatisfaction, it can cause suffering. So, but this isn't something that is decided by anyone except for yourself. You get to make this decision. You get to decide
20 seconds, Sherry. 20 seconds.
You get to decide what you want to do. This isn't something that is controlled by spirit. This is not, spirit doesn't decide this, you do. Spirit allows you to do whatever you want in your life, because it doesn't matter whatever you do has a lesson associated with it. You'll still learn a lesson from it. So.
All right.
Okay, so like one of the things that I want to talk about, and you guys, let me just announce this. Okay, please remember, you're welcome, Denise, of course, anytime. If you guys want to get a reading from either me or Kier, you can contact Kier through his Facebook, and I put the link in there. Hold on.
Yes.
I will stick the link right here too. Okay, hold on.
And
okay.
Again, you guys, donations of any amount is really appreciated. You can donate at Cashapp at sherryspeaks with a $sign in the front of it. And any amount is appreciated, and that will get us to answer your question faster. But yes, we still are doing free readings right now, so the donations are definitely appreciated.
And there's, if you just want a simple like PayPal link, there's a PayPal link, and it'll let you either pay via PayPal, or if you don't want to have to log in and you just want to pay by credit card, scroll down and just hit where it says use the debit or credit card. So if you want to, I do 30-minute sessions and an hour session. Here does astrology readings that are really, really, really awesome. I love his astrology readings. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
If you got an astrology reading from here, you would be like, most people, the way I hear them describe it, they're like, oh man, I'm so happy that I did that. I'm so happy that I got that from him. And also you can always go to the Sherry Speaks website. There's 80 plus attunements there. There's always free attunements that I like rotate. Also, there's the Third Eye course. And of course the blog, in case you want to do some reading. There's a little bit of everything. I want to remind you, because many of you are empaths. If you search in the search bar the word empath, you'll see the articles that I've written about it, especially if you're looking to get more control of your empathy. Anyone who's just come in, we're doing mini readings, one question. You can feel free to either call in or type your question in the chat. One question, one answer. We'll spend a few minutes giving you your answer. And then other than that, if you want more of an in-depth reading, like I said, you can, the information is in the description to contact me or Kier to schedule the reading. I have a scheduler, and I'll put that up. I'll put that up. I have a scheduler where you can schedule pretty much everything. And when I have sales, which I do occasionally, I occasionally will do a sale to help people out. But so there's the link to the scheduler. So anyway, so those of you who have recently come in, feel free to type your question in. One thing I wanted to talk about was it's a combination. It's energy work and vitamins.
Mhm.
um, a lot of times people get energy clearings from me, and it's like energy clearings are great and they can really help you. But I was reminded myself today that that is all well and good. But, like, say, for example, if you have a vitamin deficiency, a lot of times energy clearings, they'll clear and they'll heal whatever they can. But when they can't, what they'll do is they'll bring to the surface whatever it is you need to work on or that needs to be resolved. So in the case of
Mhm.
vitamin deficiencies, it wouldn't necessarily solve that, but might bring it to the surface by way of symptoms. And
Mhm.
you still have to take care of that. So it's kind of like one of those things. It's like if you have a vitamin D deficiency, don't think you're going to be able to get an energy clearing and not resolve that. No,
Mhm.
you're still going to have to resolve it by taking supplement or whatever, or figuring out what the problem was. My neighbor, this is a funny thing. My doctor told me was like when I told her about some symptoms I had was like, well, I see you're slightly anemic, and I was like, what, anemic? What do you mean by that? I already have sickle cell anemia. How can you be like, oh, you're slightly anemic? I'm like, that just seems like double jeopardy.
Mhm.
But once I kind of understood what she was talking about was an iron deficiency, and I was telling my neighbor about it, she said, oh, my daughter, when she was little, I took her to the doctor one time, and the doctor said that. And the doctor, like, I guess wanted to, like, prescribe something. And she was like, no, I didn't want her to have to take anything. I want to say it was, she told me she, like, literally overdosed her on lentils, I think it was, which are,
Mm.
peas, peas. But she overdosed her on lentils. She goes, honestly, she goes, you can ask her about it still to this day because now her daughter's 20 something. And I did. I asked her about it. She's like, oh, yeah, I remember at every meal, she was like giving me lentils. If she gave me a bottle, you know how you make the child a bottle and it has like maybe oatmeal or something. She's like, it would be filled with milk and lentils. She goes, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
I ate so many lentils back then. And then her mother says to me, yeah, but it solved the problem. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. But, it reminds you that sometimes the solution to what's going on with you may be simple. You may need some
Yeah.
lentils. You know what I mean? It may not be that you need an energy clearing as much as you need some peace. You know? So
Yeah.
sometimes it is that simple. But sometimes we can complicate it because we're like, oh, I know somebody who's a good energy healer that can, solve this problem, make me feel better, and then give me some insight into what's going on. Sometimes it's simpler than that.
Well, I also look at when it comes to like energy healing, sort of kind of similar to prayer. So when somebody's like, "Oh, I pray for you," I'm like, "Please don't." But I say it in a way of because you know how they say, "Be careful what you pray for and what you ask for," because that prayer, in order for you to get it answered, you may have to go through a lot of different things. A lot of different shifts and changes. And it seems like when I pray, it seems like the harder it gets. But then I'm like, oh yeah, well I gained this because of what I've been through. So it's like I feel like the energy healing would do the same thing, like you said, bring a lot of stuff up to the surface. So I'm kind of quick to be like, oh no, I like my pace of where I'm at right now. I'm good with taking my time.
Right.
But
Exactly.
yeah, sometimes, not sometimes, majority of the time, that's how the energy healing, takes place. Brings up a lot of things to the surface for you to work on. So yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
One
Yeah.
and well, I wanted to say this one thing. How I noticed that has been, when I say, if I say something like I think I said one recently where I'm like, help me get into shape and take myself seriously, and it seemed like, man, a lot of things came upon me where I was being triggered a lot. Um, Like for instance, some of my friends started falling back, or they were. I noticed that they did certain things lately. This is going on that's been really triggering me to as though I had to take a distance away from them, or I've been communicating with them for a while. But that
Right.
prayer can be a part in that. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not always what you think it's going to be. Sometimes it's simpler, and sometimes
Mhm.
there is no quick, easy solution.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes it's not something that, like, I mean, I know some really, really good energy workers that do some amazing things. There's this
Yeah.
one lady that I know. I mean, the stuff that she's able to do, healing bones and things, and like it's like amazing. But sometimes you, this is a funny thing. Sometimes you just have to be careful and do the right thing. Be
Mhm.
careful and make sure you're doing the right thing in your life. It's kind of
Yeah.
like you can't avoid eating vegetables and think that's not going to backfire on you.
Mhm.
You have to get it one way or the other. It's like you can't. Um, my brother does that sometimes. He creates the problem and then wants somebody to solve the problem. Sometimes you have
Yeah.
to get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm being careful, I'm doing the right thing instead of setting myself up to, for failure. So
Yeah.
sometimes the best thing an energy worker could tell you is like, okay, I'm going to give you that clearing, but from now on, this is what you need to stay on top of.
Yeah, it's like a give and what we talked about the last time, the give and exchange with the universe, because the universe doesn't really necessarily get things away for free.
Right.
It's sort of that's kind of what I feel like is like you have to do an exchange. You have to make a certain lifestyle change. That's why I think that's why I feel like that's why they say be careful what you wish for, because
Yeah, yeah,
you know you can't just get it for free. You gotta do some type
yeah.
of lifestyle change. It comes with that.
Yeah, even earlier, I was like trying to figure out. I'm like, oh, okay. I took almost all my vitamins and everything today, but I was like, I still got something going on. I feel like I felt like maybe I had a sinus problem or something, but I was like, no. The last time I felt this, it turned out not to be the sinus problem. It turned out to be something simple. And I was trying to remember what it was, and I was like, I don't know. Come on, remind me. And
Hmm.
it finally came to me. It's like, yeah, this is that. For some reason, I keep having a vitamin D deficiency. So I went in the bathroom. I grabbed the vitamin D. I was just like, in like literally 30 minutes later, all those symptoms were gone. And I was like, oh, okay, thank goodness I'm back to normal.
Hmm.
But sometimes
Yeah.
it's that simple.
Yes.
Sometimes it's that simple. But I do have some people that I know that wouldn't have done what I did. Instead,
Hmm.
they would have texted or gotten on the phone and been like, hey, I just sent you $50. Can you help me out? Can you give me an energy clearing or healing? I do know, and that is what's wrong with my eyes. If you could see it, that's why I'm not taking my glasses off, because that's what the vitamin D deficiency does to me. It really messes up my eyes. Like, because one of
Hmm.
the symptoms is they'll say that dry skin is one of the symptoms, and for some reason it greatly affects all around my eyes.
Hmm.
I don't know why that is, but
Hmm.
if you guys remember, I don't know if you remember this, but Will Smith's son, Jaden, I remember when they first started talking about what was wrong with him and saying it was because, he was trying to be vegan and that was the problem. At first, I was just like, BS. I was like, I didn't believe it at first, but suffering the vitamin D deficiency and sometimes vitamin B deficiency like I'm like, yeah, I know what it can do to you. I know how bad those symptoms can get. So now I'm like, yeah, that now I get it. That was what was wrong with him. Not enough protein, lacking vitamins, having vitamin deficiencies. It can really do you in, and very
Yeah.
quickly, very quickly. So just remember, even if you are getting energy clearings and healings from people, ask that question. Um, is there something I need to do on my end? Or when you go to get the clearing, a lot of times the energy workers and healers also have abilities, and you can ask them, what do you see? Do you see any deficiencies with me? Do you see anything I need to do that I need to correct? And they'll tell you. Um, Hi, Queen. I'm glad you caught us too. Even though I'm not sure how long we're going to be here. We were on later last night, and I think that's why we had so many people. But tonight it seems kind of calm and passive. So we're still getting in the swing of things. We're still getting like the hang of things. And the thing is that you also have to understand is we have to, because in the past, I didn't normally go live. No one's really looking for me to show up. So we have to do this so often until we kind of get everybody realizing, oh, okay, they're going live now often and they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, so sometimes we'll be here longer than others, depending on, if there's people coming in, to get a mini reading. But for right now, we're trying to show up for you also to get people used to the fact that we're doing live on YouTube. You know what I mean? Me and my son had this discussion. He's 17 now. And we were talking about this. And I was telling Kier, I was like, he was trying to give me suggestions and stuff. I was like, yeah, I don't hardly ever go live. Mostly I upload videos, but my son goes live all the time. Like every time you turn around, he's live. And we were talking about that. And he was saying, he was like, yeah, people are used to me being live, but they're not used to you being live. So he was like trying to give me some pointers and some tips, and I really appreciated it because I was like, how am I supposed to do this? Yeah, so just know that, we're going to keep showing up so that people get used to the fact that I'm doing the lives now. So just know that if you look and you're like, oh, I missed the live for today, don't worry about it. Catch it the next day. I really am going to be trying to do it every evening around the same time, around 8:30. So, just feel free to. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Kier?
No, I was just going to say, again, we're doing free mini readings. So if you guys have a question, just type it in the chat, or you can call in the call-in number with the pen as well. So, that's it.
Yeah. So, nobody is really waiting. Okay, let me ask you guys in the chat, is there anything you'd like to hear me discuss or talk about? It could be anything. I don't
know. Well, like I said before, I kind of, okay, Queenie says she has a question, a general question.
Well, we're not doing
general
readings. Yeah, we're not doing general readings. We're doing one question readings. Do you either have a question or an area of your life? General readings is just the only reason why is because we did some, because last night, we were trying to test out the waters. We were trying to get the sound quality, everything going on and good. Your granddaughter is the area of the question. What is this I'm getting though about your granddaughter? There's something about how often you see your granddaughter. It like, yeah, my higher self is going, there's some issues surrounding how often you see her. My higher self is telling me that you don't, this is either you don't see her a lot or you don't see her as often as you want to. There is something that in seeing her every week, yeah, but my higher self is telling me there is some issue with that, but what's the issue? Because my higher self is telling me there is an issue with it. But you know what? As this whole time, I've been getting something about your granddaughter's mother. Now I could be wrong. It could be mother, or it could be somebody else, kind of on that end. It could be mother. It could be mother-in-law. But I'm getting something that it's like, the reason why I say this is because as I'm talking about it since the beginning, my higher self, this other person is kind of popping up. But what I'm getting is, I'm seeing it as your daughter, though. That's what I think I'm being shown, as your daughter is popping up. Yeah, but there is something that my higher self is saying is an issue. So why, when it comes to your granddaughter, am I getting there is an issue that involves your daughter? Probably. I know how that is. You don't have any, you're the grandmother, the reality is you're the one that gets to enjoy your granddaughter and then send her back home, but you don't really, as a grandparent, a lot of times you don't have a lot of say. You have to kind of go along. You kind of have to go along with how your daughter wants to do things. Just like when you were raising your daughter, it was the decisions that were being made were about what you wanted to do with your daughter. Well, now you're kind of having to take a back seat in a way. You get to be that grandmother, but you don't have any real say. I'm sure your daughter may, I'm sure she listens to you when you tell her things or suggest things, but really, no, you really don't have any say. And I know how that is, and I know how frustrating it can be. I try to give my parents say when I can, you know what I mean? I try to let them, because I realize that, it's kind of hard because, they raise kids, so they're like, we know something. And I try to let them exert that, but I know it can be frustrating when I don't. Frustrating.
Wait, is she asking about her granddaughter or her daughter?
Her granddaughter, but
Oh, okay.
my higher self was showing me her daughter. Her daughter kept coming up kind of in the background.
Okay. The only thing I get is your granddaughter, I don't know, is she a teenager? Nadine Queen, sorry.
I don't know. I'm not good with ages, but I'm getting younger.
Oh, she said 6 months. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I was getting younger.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I can't really get much off of that.
No, but this is the thing. But that's what my higher self keeps wanting to talk about. My higher self keeps bringing me right back to the whole she's the grandmother. She doesn't have much say. I mean, why is that? Or is there something like, is there something going on that uh, you don't agree with, or that you think should be being done differently? Because my higher self just keeps saying she's the grandmother. She doesn't have much say. She kind of has to take a back seat to how the daughter wants to do things. Okay, well then that explains it. If she's very strong-minded, then that explains why my higher self just keeps going that you don't have a lot of say. You have to kind of take a back seat to your daughter, and that makes sense. This, yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah. And sometimes you wonder if it's because it's coming from you. If she would take it better, listen to it more if it was coming from somebody else or a friend or something. Really, this is really not about your granddaughter, not about your daughter either. This is actually about you. You're at that point in your life with all of this where it is now time for you to have that realization that there are certain things that are going to fall outside your control. And those are the things that you're going to have to keep reminding yourself, yep, this is one of those things. Again, it's falling outside my control. There's only so much I can do because you can't control the decisions or behavior of another person. And then this is going to come up again once your granddaughter gets older. So when your granddaughter does become a teenager, again, you're going to have to remind yourself of this again. Falls outside my control. I can only do so much with her behavior. This is more, it's funny, but the question really, honestly, the answer is more a lesson for you, not so much about them. This is more about you, where you're at, what you need to work on, what you need to remind yourself of. Because if you don't, it can lead to frustration. If you don't kind of remind yourself, hey, things fall outside of my control, this is outside of my control, let me just do the most important thing. And you know what that is? Enjoying your granddaughter.
And the only thing that I can say about Queen, are you a bit emotional about this? Like I get that there's a strong attachment to this, and it may be kind of affecting you emotionally.
Well, as far as emotional, I would say the emotion is frustration at times.
Oh, okay.
I would say that's the emotion that I'm picking up is like when a person is slightly frustrated sometimes, and I get it. Yeah. But that's why I'm like, she's going to have to remind herself, this is one of the things that kind of falls outside of my control because it's her daughter that's calling the shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I could say to you is that you wouldn't be wrong to mention to your daughter every now and then, hey, I feel like you don't always really listen to what I'm telling you. And I'd love it if we could work on that so that you hear me more. Instead of focusing on telling her things about, the granddaughter and what she's doing with the granddaughter, no, take a step back and first address the actual underlying issue is that she doesn't listen to you all the time. Sometimes it's like falling on deaf ears. So focus on doing something with that first by just mentioning to her, hey, I just want to say this to you. I don't mean any harm. I just feel like sometimes you don't listen to me. You don't listen to me, and you're not like respecting the knowledge and everything that I learned raising children that I'm trying to pass on to you. You don't have to get into an argument or anything about it, but just simply mention that. And then let her go take her child, go home, and let that sit in her mind and let that ferment in her mind.
Well, I was kind of feeling like the daughter might be a bit rebellious. She might have, I don't know, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from the daughter.
Well, she said the daughter is strong-minded. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, strong-minded. Like, to me, strong-minded means, yeah, that's that person that they're not going to listen to.
Strong-minded meaning she wants control. Or she knows she has control.
Right.
She might be an air sign, too. I don't know if your daughter is like a strong air sign. Kind of feeling like a little bit Gemini. That's the kind of feel, yeah. I wonder if is your daughter mad at you as well? I wonder if that, I feel like your daughter may, I don't know if this is personal or not. I feel like she may be doing this to kind of get back at you in some way. Also, she could be a strong air sign. A strong air sign.
Yeah, but just remember that's still.
She says she is a Gemini.
Yeah, just remember that's a behavior still on her daughter's side, and she has to keep reminding herself that she doesn't have any control over somebody else's behavior.
Yeah. Ooh. Your daughter kind of feels a little vulture-y. Oh, wow. Now, she's definitely giving me the strong Gemini vibe, and I think she may be doing this to get back at you.
I mean, and that's not unusual, Sometimes when kids become adults, they're holding on to a lot of things from the past that sometimes don't even make any logical sense. I can remember when I had friends tell me when their kids were in their early to mid 20s, like just all of a sudden going off on this kick about you ruined my life. And I remember when a friend of mine was like, he just told me the other day that I ruined his life. He's like, I took care of him. I did everything for him. I sacrificed for him. But now all of a sudden he's got this perception I ruined his life. And this happens, and then the young adults get convinced their parents are the reason for all their problems, and there is not much you can do about that except to give them the time to hopefully eventually come to the realistic truth. But that's their journey to figure that out, not yours.
Yeah, I really feel like it's a game with her. That's just the vibe that I'm getting.
Okay,
it's like a storm that's brewing with her. So yeah.
You are welcome.
That's all I got to say about that.
You're welcome. Okay, so it's been an hour. We're going to wrap it up. Anyone who's in here that didn't get a reading and that still wants one, like I said, every evening around 8:30, we're going to be doing this. So you will have plenty of chances to ask your question, or if you've already asked a question either tonight or last night, to maybe ask a different question because maybe there's something else in your life going on that you'd also like to ask a question about. You're so welcome, Queen. I really don't mind you guys repeatedly showing up, like to ask okay, let me ask a different question because there's some other area in my life that I have a question into. I don't mind that. I really enjoy spending time with you. I enjoy chatting with you. It was really lively last night. It was awesome last night. I really do enjoy you guys' company. So I don't mind if you're like, okay, I'm going to show up again, ask a different question. Feel free. I don't mind. So anyway, you guys have a really good night. Remember, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and then the little bell thing to say all notifications so that when we go live, you'll be notified. I also posted on my social media pages too. Um, so just remember to do that, and also remember to like the video and share it. You know, maybe you have some friends that maybe you could think of might want to come and ask a question. Share it with them. Me and Kier would be happy to, chat with them and to see if we can help them.
Yes, sir.
So thank you, Kier, for joining me. It was awesome again, as usual. And thank you guys for being awesome. I really appreciate you showing up. I really do. It matters to me. Okay, so we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Namaste.
Peace.
Say goodbye, Kier.